God, Google, what are you thinking? The Google Pixel 6a has been announced for India and pre-orders have begun starting today. The phone is priced at 44,000 rupees or 43,999 to be precise. At that price, this phone is available for pre-order. You can buy it from Flipkart of all the places. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing it. So let's quickly get started. Now the Pixel 6a is not your usual Pixel device. This is a more budget-oriented device, and this is supposed to be a more mass-market device. So think of the iPhone SE, but then think of the Pixel, and this is where the Pixel 6a comes in. The Pixel 6a is the only Pixel device that is officially going to be launched in India, and at a price of 43,999, the answer therein lies in the price. Now, granted, you can get some discounts and offers from the company, and if you have an old Pixel device, you can trade it in for a 6a device. But all of those things aside, the starting price with just 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage is questionable to say the least. But before we shred the Pixel 6a for its pricing, we have to understand that the market for phones, especially those that are completely imported from overseas, has gone up, and hence the Pixel 6a does face high tariffs and custom duties, and which is why I think Google decided to not launch the other Pixel devices in India. Funnily enough, if you do a quick Google search or even an Amazon search for the standard Pixel 6, you can actually get a Pixel 6 for cheaper than the Pixel 6a. This is something that will sort of reduce sales for this device. Even though the Pixel 6 is not being officially sold, some colors are available for 44,000 rupees, and that obviously makes that device a better option. But let's quickly talk about the build quality and design and see if those things are worth it. As far as the build is concerned, we've got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the front, and this device does not get a pre-applied screen protector. There is an aluminum frame or an aluminium frame that is giving this device a lot of strength. And on the back of the Pixel 6a, you will see a plastic back panel, and you can also see the dual camera layout, which is very significant with respect to the design of the Pixel phones, and you'll see that over here as well. Now we're checking out the charcoal color, but it'll also be available in a chalk color, and that appears to be the color of choice for a lot of people, although I have to say that I'm thoroughly enjoying the charcoal color. Now the front has a 6.1-inch OLED display. This is a 2400 by 1080 pixel display. Now it does lag a little bit in terms of brightness, and it does have a good amount of color reproduction, and that is because it's an OLED display. You do have excellent viewing angles on this as well. So for everyday use, this is not a bad display, but you will struggle in certain lighting conditions, as the screen also itself is quite reflective. The display is good for gaming or for watching content, and it will not disappoint as far as those things are concerned. You do have certain software limitations in this, as certain games and applications will not automatically scale up to full screen, and there is no option in the settings panel to allow that to happen, which is usually enabled by third parties. Speakers use a combination of the loudspeaker at the bottom and the earpiece to give you a stereo sound. The earpiece does have a lesser sound, but it does manage to create a stereo effect. The speakers are pretty loud, but not as loud as some of the other phones in the competition, and definitely not as loud as some of the iPhone devices. The Pixel 6a is a compact device, and it feels really comfortable in the hand. The body itself is pretty rounded off. And overall, you'll enjoy using this device, especially thanks to some of the haptics and the sound effects that you get when you unlock and lock the device, and certain other effects that Google has built in. Animations are smooth and transitions are good, even though the display is only at 60 Hz, which is also a little bit of a letdown. As far as performance is concerned, we've got a Google Tensor chip in here along with the M2 Titan security chip. If you're looking for privacy and security, this is one of the best devices that you can get on the Android side of things. thanks to the built-in Titan M2 security chip, along with Google's own Tensor chip in here. As far as performance is concerned, if you're going to be playing games, this is going to more than suffice, and you can see the Antutu score over there. While it is much less than some of the other devices that we've recently tested out, here is the Redmi K50i, which is available for almost 15,000 rupees less. For comparison, that has the MediaTek 8100 chip. This has Google's old Tensor chip in here. The best thing about Pixel devices, of course, is the seamless Android experience, and this phone is no slouch when it comes to those things. Of course, you get pure Android out of the box, and you will continue to get updates for many years to come. So if you're holding an old Pixel device, the Pixel 3, 4, you'll see that you're already on the latest version of Android. And with the Pixel 6a, you will find that going into the many years in the future, you'll continue to get not only the latest versions of Android, but also the developer beta versions of Android available for this device, which makes it a good testing device if you're an app developer or just somebody who's an Android enthusiast. You can get the latest versions of Android much before any other device actually gets them. Speaking of the Android experience, of course, it is the best Android experience built in to this, and with that you do get some of the new features that Google has added into this. So you do have live transcribe in the Recorder app. So if you're recording something, you can quickly transcribe that into text, which works well, and in the test that we've done, it actually comes out as a good result. Live Transcribe is also available in other applications. If you're sending messages or just writing down notes, you can quickly convert speech to text, and it works well throughout the user interface. There are lots of subtle other things that Google has done for the Pixel device, including their new material design user interface, including some of the themes and wallpapers. We've seen the same effect with the Nothing device. So anything that's running a pure version of Android, you get to see those features, of course. Now, one of the biggest selling points for the Pixel 6a is going to be the camera features. So if you're somebody who's heavily into photography, the 6a is going to be a good option, especially in this price bracket. You get some interesting features which are more software-based than the actual hardware that is on the Pixel 6a. For hardware, of course, you do have a 12.2 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Both of them have a decent f-stop, with the main camera coming in at f1.7, whereas the ultra-wide at f2.2. With that, you get really good low-light images, but what's important here is that the actual software-based features of Google that are available on Pixel devices make it much better. So you get things like Magic Eraser as well as Real Tone. Some of these samples will show you what a big difference these effects make, and for a lot of people those will come in really handy. You've also got really good low light photography on this device, and it works really well. So if you're in the market for something like that, that gives you really good image reproduction, post-image editing effects, the Pixel 6a is definitely going to be the choice for a lot of people. As far as video is concerned, you get 4K video at up to 60 frames per second, which is seen missed out in a lot of devices in this price bracket, even with higher end specs. You do get standard software-based image stabilization in this. For heavier image stabilization for video, you can choose a heavy mode or an active mode, and that will give you some better image stabilization, but it will definitely lower down the video resolution. The front-facing camera is an 8 megapixel camera. Here it leaves a lot to be desired from the phone. However, images are still good, and because of the software capabilities of Google, along with their Tensor chip coming in clutch with some of the features, I don't think, as far as camera is concerned, you'll be complaining with the Pixel 6a. You get a 4,410 milliamp hour battery with 18 watts of charging, so that is not the greatest. And if you saw the quick unboxing in the beginning of the video, you know that there is no charger included in the box of the Pixel 6a, even though a nice OTG adapter is included. Now, Google has a pretty interesting device in the market here for 44,000 rupees. It is crazy expensive. It should have been priced somewhere in the 30,000 price bracket, where the Nothing phone sits. The Nothing phone would have been actually a good competitor for the Pixel 6a, but here you can actually pick things like the iPhone SE, which does offer up a better chip and some interesting capability, even though you don't get a full display. Of course, if you want Android, the Pixel 6a is going to be a good bet, but like I said, you can actually go pick up a Pixel 6, not the 6a, for the same price that the Pixel 6a has been launched in India for. I do expect the price to drop significantly in the coming months. So if you're interested in buying the device right now, you can go ahead and buy it with some of the offers. But if you're willing to wait, I would say that wait up for a month or so, and I see the prices of the 6a dropping significantly. On the flip side, you can go pick up a Pixel 6 right now for exactly the same price, and we can have a link for that in the description below for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat. I'll see you guys in the next one.